the recording. Okay, the meeting has started at 4:01 p.m. Sam Spisiak, Barbara Bigelow, Ann Brigham, and Christine Robinson are in attendance. Christine M. and Elaine are not able to be here. So first order of business, you will all be very proud of me, the minute. Does anybody have any comments, changes they want to make to the minutes from the last meeting? And if not, is there a motion to accept the? Okay, and second, and all those in favor, and it is unanimous. Okay, so the person who's going to be coming is Jessica Carlson Belanger, who is interested in joining the committee. And she will be a wonderful addition from everything that I have seen and heard about her. I'm really looking forward to meeting her. So I'm going to just kind of let that one move forward as we go through the others. So soccer update, Sam.
Oh yeah. So there's a friend of mine who lives on Pelham Hill who works for Amherst College, and she put me in touch with one of her colleagues who coaches the women's Amherst High School soccer team, and they want to come. The whole team wants to come to soccer and coach the kids. So she texted me today to confirm. And it's really exciting because it's just kind of like been this laid back, unstructured thing with I'm making up as I go along. And so I think it'll be fun to have like a real team come and coach the kids. So that is on this Sunday. So I think I'm going to send out a town announcement to make sure that we get a good turnout. And it's like a pretty special thing.
Really special.
So I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
that's Sunday, and so far it's been going great. Like we had like 20 kids the first week, and then last week it was less, but still still a good turnout. So, and then everyone stays after and plays on the playground, so it's really nice.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, well, welcome, Jessica. So do you want to unmute? And I'm actually going to let Sam introduce you because she knows you better than I do. As in, this is the first time we've met.
Yeah, it's nice to meet all of you.
This is Jessica. She works at the school and does the Moose on the Move program for the kids there, where they do it's like a running club. And I cornered her and asked her if she'd be interested in hearing about our committee because I thought she'd be great at it.
And I'm guessing the answer was yes.
Yeah, I am interested. I feel like I have always thought about the sense of community that we have here in Shutesbury and all of the collaborations and ways that we can help make things happen and help people to feel a part of the community. So I love some of the things that the rec committee has been doing, and I haven't felt like I've had all that much time previously, but if you're willing to take someone who's just learning about the committee and might have some ideas about serving different populations, I would love to be a part of it.
Well, you just checked all the boxes on the things that we ask about and look for, and somebody who's interested in being in the committee. So I'm going to make a wild guess that we could take a vote right now, and I can tell you what the outcome would be, and then we'll tell you a little bit more about it before you do this. So everybody in favor, raise your hand. It looks like it's unanimous. And for the record, Jessica Carlson Belanger has just is here as a visitor, and the committee just voted to have her as a member of the committee. So I already wrote to Jessica, just, sort of one of the things that we had established 2 or 3 years ago about how we decide what things to do. And mainly if somebody is willing to do it and take that on, we do it. We can have the best idea in the world, but everybody's just sitting there and nobody wants to take it on, then we don't. And sometimes it'll pop back up and be done in a future year, but we're a smallish committee. There's 2 people who are missing, so there are more people than are here right now. But we do try to make sure that what we do has some buy-in from people in the committee, and interest from people in the community. So I think we've been pretty successful at that.
Barbara, can I just say one thing?
Yeah, please.
Sorry. Hi, Jessica. I'm Anne. It's nice to meet you. I'm filling in for our really good secretary, Christine. So I'm not as good. So just so you know, if I'm not looking at you and I'm unmuted, it's because I'm trying to take minutes. So welcome. It's nice to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to say too that because I have connections with a bunch of different age groups in town, I have the connection because I work at the school. I actually spoke to my lunch group today about what kinds of fun things they would like to see in town, and they suggested basketball. So we might have to do a basketball similar to the soccer that's going on.
Actually, yeah, Andy's interested in doing that as well.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Oh, good.
But I also have I have only one teenager left. I have 3 children who grew up in Shutesbury. So we've been up through Shutesbury Elementary School and the middle school and the high school. My youngest just left for college this year, but my oldest just moved back into town. So she's 23. So I have my eye on the like younger 23 population. And my mom also lives in town, who used to work at the school and now lives down at the lake. And so I said to her, as a senior in town, like, you'll have to talk to me a little bit about what kinds of things you'd be interested in. And she brought up, like, they have hikes in Turner's Falls, like historical informative hikes that are like about a mile long, but they stop and they chat and they learn about different things in the town. And she was like, that would be really fun if it was closer and in Shutesbury. So there's all these different pieces of my life where I'm like, reaching out to people, thinking about what kinds of things can bring people together and also promote like a healthy lifestyle. So I feel like there's like a lot of things. And like you said, sometimes my ambitions are like big, but I found that if you start something, there's always people to help. So
Yes.
I think our ways that we can collaborate in town are also great. Like if we have access to someone on the historical commission or have connections with the library group or the senior council on aging, or even community network for children with Gillian, I feel like there's so much more we can do with those collaborations. So it'll be great.
Right. Well, before I respond to that, Christine is the only member that you haven't heard from or been introduced to. This is Christine Robinson, the longest term member of the committee, because you were here long before I came on.
We know each other.
Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Great. I should have known.
Hi. You need a tiara with longest running rec member written on it.
I'm so happy to have you, Jess.
Oh, it's good to see you too. I'm excited to be a part of this crew.
Yeah, I like that idea about doing some kind of historical walk and a short one, because something that someone mentioned to me some time ago is that there really aren't things for older people who have mobility issues. And so having shorter walks, somebody even said you could just do something around the town common, depending on the ability of people, but to really think about ways we can appeal not just to the people who like to go for a hike in Brightwater Bog, but who would like to be outside learning something with a smaller group. So great. Okay. I think
we should do a ghost walk next year.
Ooh.
Too soon. But next
That would
year.
be awesome. So my daughter, who's 23, who lives in town, is also graduated with a major in history, a degree in history. And she works at the New England Air Museum down in Connecticut. But ghost walks would be right up her alley. That is a great idea.
Okay, we've got an idea for next year then.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you have a running calendar with like the events that you are planning right now and the events that happen yearly?
No, and we should.
Mm-hmm.
So I appreciate you bringing that up, because Sam and I have talked about it, and then it's, one thing happens and then another, but we do now have events that are every year. And then we have the ones that are more episodic, like last year going to Christine Marglin's orchard and having a talk about growing fruit trees. So this will spur me to finally do that. So thank you. Already you're worth your weight in gold. Okay, so any other things anybody wants to say or ask, or that you would like to ask? Jess? Yeah, Christine?
Do we have a date for Tom for the?
No, that was one of the things I was gonna talk about. I don't have a date from him yet. So that's gonna be fourth on the agenda, so we'll get to that very shortly.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, thank you. So the next thing, so before I move on, were there any questions that people had for Jess, or Jess, anything you wanted to ask us about?
I was curious because like I know we're a small town and I know budgeting is interesting in our town. And even like with the soccer thing going on, Sam, I was curious, are you getting all volunteers? Like one of the students was telling me that there's a coach for the older kids at soccer too. And I wasn't sure, is this all volunteer based or do you have a budget that you work with to run events?
We have a budget. We have $3,000 for the year. Usually we give $1,000 right off the top to the library for the fitness classes that they provide, because that's that reaches like the senior community as well. And soccer is all volunteer. The rec committee purchased the equipment, and then Sean Genero is another dad, and he comes when he can. And then it's me, and then usually like soccer just kind of works like it depends who's there, kind of like if there's a lot of little kids there, one of like the 3-year-old moms will kind of take over that group, and I'll take over the big kids, and it's as relaxed as it could possibly be, basically. But like for some events, like for Brightwater Bog Walk or bird watching, we do often pay them to do it. And then we've kind of run into this weird thing where we offer to pay someone for their services and they decline. And then we have money left over at the end of the year, and then we donate more to the fitness classes. That's what's historically happened. Like the last year, 2 years, maybe, I would say, Barbara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I was thinking about it too, because the connection with the Amherst High School and the students that are doing the National Honor Society, or like there's a bunch of different groups, but specifically that one, and they need volunteer hours. So like roping in high schoolers to help with different events too could be something that we could look at. But that's great that you have a budget.
We do have a budget, and our budget tripled. A few years ago, we wanted to do, is it called geocaching? It's whatever that thing is where people are racing, and anyway. So we talked to somebody about creating a map for us so that we would have something that could continue to be used. But there were a number of things. One, it was very expensive to get the map made. Two, the map actually wouldn't be our map. The map would belong to this other organization, even though we paid for it, which made sense because it meant it provided more places for people in the area to go geocaching than if we owned it. So we had requested an additional $2,000 to our budget to help pay for it. And what I didn't realize is that once you ask for and get more money, you always have more money. So they never took us back to $1,000, and we've never had to justify it. We just have to spend it, right? Oh, this is being recorded, but it's true. That's kind of the way it works, but we do spend it. So we've been able to hold on to that. I just wanted to say something about the soccer, and it's to some extent, it's a kind of splitting hairs, but not really. We don't technically run, as a committee, we don't technically run the soccer. We sponsor, so we will help pay for things like the balls and the nets and all of that. But, for example, if Sam were to decide that she didn't want to do it anymore, hopefully it would continue going with other people and we would continue to be a sponsor, but it wouldn't be something that we as a committee are running. We're just something like a soccer program is kind of beyond our reach. But the sponsoring has worked well, and I would guess if we did the basketball, it would be the same thing, you know, buy the equipment. And then just like any of the soccer programs in other towns, that's usually the parents at that age, and, you know, they're not paying for anybody to come and do the coaching, but it's usually the parents who kind of step up to it. So so that's again, somewhat splitting hairs because Sam is on the committee, but if she were not, we would still continue sponsoring it, but we wouldn't be involved in the running of it in the way that you are, Sam. So, and speaking of sponsorships, the townwide birthday party is going to be on the 5th, October 5th. And they have asked if we are willing to sponsor them again and provide $100 towards some of their expenses. So is there any discussion about that before we vote? No? Are we ready to take a vote? Can somebody propose a motion?
Emotion.
Okay, so it's to sponsor the townwide birthday celebration and provide them with $100 towards their expenses. So all those in favor, please raise your hand. And so that's unanimous. Okay, I will let Susie know as soon as we get off. It was, they were a little bit, it's very close to this date, but they were not, they didn't get to it until fairly recently. So that's the townwide birthday party, the announcements, and one of these is the night sky, Christine. So Tom, so Jessica, the night sky is Tom. How do you pronounce his last name?
Sheeting.
Sheeting. He is an amateur astronomer who is extraordinarily knowledgeable, has all kinds of equipment. And last year and again this year, he offers a night sky viewing. And I was not able to go. Christine, you were able to go, and I gather it was great.
Awesome.
Yeah, and he has offered to do it again. But it got really complicated last year because we had 2 dates and then we had rain dates, and it just, the whole thing got very convoluted and very difficult to manage from my end. So we decided this year that we would just have the one night. Now, Tom has now offered to do another night, and we paid him for that night. He's offered to do another one just kind of out of the goodness of his heart. And what I have kind of been struggling with is that if I put it out again, which I really don't want to do, this is why we only had it once. If I put it out again in a town announce, then we're back to, or I'm back to, you know, figuring out who can come, keeping a waiting list and all of that, versus, which I'm tempted to do, is not have this be really recreation committee business, but I will write to all of the people who RSVP'd to the original one, some who came, some who couldn't come, and tell them that this night is happening, and if they want to come, they can come. So we wouldn't be doing any on-site organizing, we wouldn't be doing anything, just letting them know, and then anyone who wants to come can come. So I'd like some feedback on that.
Sounds good to me.
Does it sound good to everybody else?
Sounds good.
Okay. Anne,
Yeah.
what do you?
Yeah, that sounds good. So Barbara, let me just make sure, let me say this back to you. So Tom would decide on a night
Mhm.
and then a date, and you would just reach out to people who've RSVP'd in the past and say, hey, this is happening on this night.
Yeah.
Want to go.
Yes, exactly.
And Tom would then just,
Yeah.
whoever showed up shows up, and it would
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you be willing to add on the people that went to the program last year and not just this year? Because I would be interested in going again, and I went 2 years ago, but I didn't RSVP for this year.
Okay. Well, Jess, here's one of the wonderful things about this committee. You can go to anything you want. You're not on the list. So yes, you can definitely go, because it'll go out to all of the members of our committee, in part because we do stuff there. So, you know, if there's anything that the person who's doing it, like with the bog walks, you know, it helped to have people who were sweepers because there were dawdlers and we wanted to kind of keep people moving at a reasonable pace. So, you know, there's always something that can be done. So absolutely you are invited. And there's actually quite a bit of overlap between the people who RSVP'd yes this year and last year. There were a couple of people who were different, but there was a lot of overlap. So, okay, well, does it seem okay if I send that out with recreation email? Because it's not being offered to everybody. It's just being offered to us. That's kind of I think it's okay. It sounds fine to me, but I just wanted other pairs of ears on this one. Okay, yeah. Okay, all right. Sam, your thumb hasn't gone up. I'm there. Yay!
I'm nodding. Good. Yes. Good.
I was watching your hands. Ah. Okay, so and then I got a hold of oh, I'm forgetting his name now. Al, thank you, Al Warner, about the Shutesbury Geology Walk. He's currently traveling, he's out of the country, and he said he would get back to me. So I think that one can be any time of years because the rocks don't change. You know, they just kind of stay the same, unlike plants. So it might be wise just to plan on doing that one in the spring. If I hear back from him soon enough, and it looks like we can arrange it for end of October, beginning of November, then I suppose we could do that. But as of right now, I haven't heard back from him. I'm not going to hound him about it, and we'll just see. The other one is, okay, the birding. And Sam, you may know more about this one than I because the library got a grant to do some education and things around birding and asked if we would partner with them and we can pick up the expense of whoever is leading it. We can pay for that, which frees up more money for the library to use it on other birding related things. Have I captured that well?
Mhm.
Okay, good. Yeah, Christine?
So is it still with Cliff?
It would still be with Cliff. Yeah,
Cool.
who won't take the money. But he wants the money to go to the library. But I actually have a question about that, which is from the point of view of the person giving the money, I would think that they can put it towards their taxes. It's a, you know,
A donation.
a donation. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. I would guess that because it's like, yeah, because we could write them the check, then they could write a check to the library. We just skip a step,
Exactly.
basically. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. I was thinking that I would start suggesting that. It also, then less of our flow is directly to the library as well. So, okay. And I think those were the only three. And that one, it looks like we'll do in the spring. So we will find out when the primary migration is happening, and that would be the timing for that. And we'll coordinate with Mary Ann. All right. Am I missing any planned events? No. Okay, so I'm guess
Can I ask, speaking of planned events, are you still doing the knitting groups?
yes, that actually was on my list and I forgot to put it there. Yes, it's actually turned into a stitching group because there's somebody who darns. There's people who do embroidery. There are people who do crochet. So it's now the stitching group. And actually thank you, because I had forgotten to list that out under my announcements about things. So when do we want to start it up again? Do we want to wait until we can be in the library or start up again in the basement of town hall?
That's up to you because you usually have to let the people in. So that's your call.
Yeah,
I
as
think
long as Christine holds my hand, I can let people in.
that's right. So we can start at town hall because I think
Okay.
it's going to be a couple more months. I think I read the heading of a
Okay.
email we just got about the library being
Okay.
complete. I didn't read the whole thing, but
Okay.
because I get motivated.
Yeah, ditto. What was I going to say about this? Oh, we need to find out when the library is having events, because last year we just kind of came up with a schedule, and then it turned out that some of those were days that Jeanette or somebody else was doing a workshop, and we don't want to cannibalize their activities. So is that something, Sam, you would be able to easily find out?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I can send out a calendar or to all of the members of the group. I guess now we should probably start from scratch and send out a townwide announce at the beginning of the year. So that, because I'm sure there may be new people, there may be people who just didn't sign up who enjoy it. It's really, really nice. It's just such a nice thing to do. We were doing it on Sunday mornings, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes. And we had adventures and everything when we set the alarm off, which is why I like Christine to come and hold my hand. And the
And
poor
the hot stadies that show up.
yeah, the whole thing with the state trooper.
The whole thing.
Yeah, we do
Jess,
have.
are you sure? Are you sure, Jess? You know what you're getting into here?
So, and I loved, just Sam had mentioned that you had just kind of floated an idea about hiking meetups. I think that's a fantastic idea. And that's something that I would guess would be really simple to do, because once somebody says when it is, like, we can send out a town announce, it just says, be here at this time, and that wouldn't be collecting names of people who are coming. It would just be showing up, which would be really very straightforward. I thought that was a great idea. I don't know, would you want to say a few words about it?
Well, we kind of do that informally with like the group of parents that my kids went to school with.
Mhm.
We've continued hanging out. We call ourselves the PTO, which I crack up at because we're not the PTO anymore. We're the old PTO. But we still meet up and do things like this. And I was thinking how nice it would be to make it a bigger thing and invite other people from town, especially people that are interested in the trails but nervous to explore on their own.
Mhm.
It would be kind of a cool thing. So yeah, I would love to do that. Even like a monthly meetup would be great. I'm just
Like
thinking,
what?
I ran into a bear on my trail the other day, and it was the first time that a bear had like turned towards me and kind of bounded towards me. Usually they just walk away, but this one was like, whoa, and like it was a little bit scary. But if you're in a big group and you're all talking, that doesn't necessarily happen.
Right.
Scare
What
away the animals before they can scare you. So
Tell us the end of the story. I see no visible marks on you, so.
yeah, nope, I did not get
You're fine.
attacked. It just took like 3 big pounces and then it stopped and I yelled, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I just started walking away with my little dog and it didn't try to follow me or anything. So
Yeah.
a neighbor posted the trail cam video with the bear and 2 cubs right after that. So I'm
Oh,
assuming
that's
there
it.
were probably cubs near the bear that I didn't see, but we were fine. And yeah, it was exhilarating. I did not need my second cup of coffee that morning. My heart was racing and boy, was I awake after that.
Oh my glory, what a
Uh-huh.
story.
Yeah,
So-
but I also just hiked around Beth Wilson on the Conservation Commission, just took me down to I think it's called Conservation Area or South Brook Conservation Area, and said that the Conservation Commission is building bridges or redoing bridges. And I was like, oh, this is an area that I never really come to.
Mhm.
There's just so many spots in town that we could explore with that. So
I've been going to New Boston Road. I didn't know about it until recently, and I love taking my kids there because they can bike and that's flat.
Mhm.
That's like such a gem.
Mm.
That's great. So I was going to ask, these are all places in Shutesbury.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's also all the Pine Brook trails. Like I hadn't really known about those until COVID and started hiking those. And now my mom lives kind of across from Shore Drive. So it's
Mm.
like an easy hike over there. And that's also so gorgeous.
Mhm.
And not very hilly down at that end. So yeah, there's lots of options.
Great.
Yeah, I would be interested in doing that. Yeah, like I said, monthly would be ideal, but if there's a month where I couldn't do it, that's when like, I don't know,
Well, I mean, I think that that shouldn't just sit on you, but with the people who are coming at the end of each one, you could just ask, would somebody like to take on the next one? If you
Mhm.
ever feel like you don't want to, and then people will both be getting to participate in the walk and help organize something, which might then get them thinking about doing other things.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah,
like that idea, Barbara. That tends to work really well too, because people go out of town or they have other commitments. And so if it always falls to one person.
I
mhm,
think even if you like came up with a list of dates, times, and places, like maybe one a month, and then we just send that out, and then people have it. That could be just enough structure. Sometimes people just need to know when and where to get together.
Yeah. Yeah.
we
Can
could start,
I come up with something and email all of you
absolutely,
and see like a little proposal?
great.
The
Okay.
only, I love the idea of coming up with all the places. My only question around doing the dates and times ahead of time is if you do one on Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, sometimes it might be nice to do the next one at Sunday at 3. Because if
Mhm.
you always do them the same day and time, and there are people who can never make that day and time, you leave
Yeah.
people out. So that's just something to consider.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, of like having a Saturday morning, a Sunday morning that doesn't interfere with the stitching club. Saturday afternoon and Sunday
Yeah,
afternoon
like
maybe,
a
and like
stagger.
feel
Yeah.
it out to see
Yeah.
what works for most people.
Yeah.
It gets a little tricky in the winter with our trails because they're,
Mm.
um, a little dangerous, but we can figure out how, I'll
I actually
write.
have an idea about that, but I think that's later down on the list.
Oh, come on, Sam. That
Well,
was
you
too
know
much
what?
of a
Actually,
teaser.
Sam, we can talk about it because I forgot to
Let's
put
talk
that
about
on the
it.
agenda.
Okay.
That's under, no, that can be under other business, the snowshoes.
Yeah, Marianne
Oh,
and
we've
I were,
talked about this before. We
Yeah.
should get to do
well,
snowshoes.
there will be
Wait, sorry, Sam,
room.
sorry, before you start, sorry. Just a technical question. Is the hike, should I put that under new business, Barbara?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. Sorry, Sam.
Oh, I saw them putting out snowshoes at Sam's the other day, and I was saddened by that. And then I was telling Marianne, I was like, "Oh God, they're putting out snowshoes," and she said maybe the rec committee would like to buy them for the new library because there will be room to store them. So
Mhm.
I wanted to just bring that idea here, and I just looked it up really quick before the meeting. They're like $100 a piece. So that's something to consider. And then I think it was 150 with poles from LL Bean. So
Mhm.
that is a thought that I will
Good.
bring to the table.
Yeah, great. Let's talk about it next time and try to draft up what a budget looks like for this year. Because this
Okay.
past year, we definitely had money left over.
I know.
And $800 would have bought a lot of, that would have been 3 sets, right? Of snowshoes at 750 plus some change.
Yeah, and I got mine from someplace that wasn't LL Bean, and they were even cheaper than that.
Yeah,
Okay,
that.
good.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, I had mentioned this a couple years ago, and it was like we couldn't do it because there was no place to hold this, to store the snowshoes and all that stuff. So
That's right.
I'm definitely interested in this idea.
Yeah.
So
Now there is.
Yeah, my math was wrong. That's 5 sets, not 3 sets. Okay, well, that's great. That can also be something that we talk more about. Just going back briefly to the meetups, we could start that as early as October. Because it's just a matter of sending out a townwide email. There's no organization, no one has to get back about anything. So if you just let me know if you feel like starting it that soon, date, time, place, and then we'll send it out to the town. Good. Okay, great. See, I think the snowshoes was the only thing that I got to put on.
Sorry, back to that point of date
Mhm.
and place. Can you let me know what date you pick to start knitting, and then I can make the flyer up and all that.
Okay, well, let's assume, let me just see. October is very busy.
I know
Let's
I
say we're
have
gonna
very busy
plan on,
October too.
yeah, oh my goodness gracious. Why don't we say we're gonna start in September, I mean, in October, and see what things look like. And we were doing it every other week. There's a bunch of things that are planned in the afternoons, like the townwide birthday party is on the 5th, but I don't think that would interfere. Oh, the other thing with the town, yeah, Christine?
We have our Rhinebeck, New York
Oh, yeah, that
trip.
one,
the
that
18th.
is the 18th, right? Yeah, so we want to avoid that weekend.
What
Yeah.
is that?
Hmm?
What is the Rhinebeck, New York?
There's Rhinebeck has this large, what is it, a knitting festival, yarn festival in Rhinebeck, New York, and Webb's chartered a bus and then sold tickets on the buses, and a group of people from the stitching group bought tickets, and we'll be going to that. And then that's on Saturday, the 18th, and then I have something on the 19th. And the 18th is also No King's Day. So people may be doing that as well. Let's see, what was I just thinking about that I was going to say about the knitting, about the meetup? I don't know. If it's important, it'll come back to me. Although that's not true once you hit 74. Sometimes it comes back and sometimes it doesn't.
Well, do you want to start it on the 12th then?
Sure. Yeah, that sounds good. And then every other week from there.
Wait, are we talking about knitting or hiking?
Knitting,
Okay.
right? Yeah.
And
So
9
knitting is starting on the 12th.
9 to 11?
Yeah, that
Kitchen.
sounds good. Mhm. Yeah, 2 hours is a good length of time. Okay, now the other agenda item is about the town meeting bylaw. At this point, we're not going to be, this will be voted on at town meeting. So this is something that all the individuals, the email that I'm about to present is from Nettie, and it's about finding out whether or not changing the meeting dates and adding a meeting date would would affect, how is the question? Would this work better for the board or committee? So what she wrote is that she would like to suggest that the select board sponsor an article to amend the town meeting date bylaw. The suggestion is not new, and Anne, I can forward this to you. Because I think she only sent it to chairs. The first change that she's recommending would be shifting the date from April to the first or second Saturday in May. It seems that there's a general consensus that April ultimately feels too early to many, and Grace has pointed this out. So the question is, if the town were to hold annual town meeting on the first or second Saturday in May rather than in April, would this work better for the board or committee that you represent? Now, as a chair, I would say it doesn't make any difference.
I agree.
Okay.
I think historically speaking, I remember they changed it from the first weekend in May back to April because of all of the Pride events that happen in Northampton that first weekend in May. A lot of younger families were going to the Pride March instead of going to
Okay.
town meetings. So I don't know
I'll
if
make a note of
that's
that to her. Yeah.
still the case, but
I think that is the weekend. I'm not sure. Thank you. That's really helpful to have that knowledge.
yeah, I know the Pride March in Franklin County, the one that the elementary school marches in, is usually the first weekend in June, because June is
Okay.
Pride Month. So I'm not sure where Northampton stands with it, but and I
Yeah,
don't
it
know
was
about
it was May 4th this year. So
Yeah.
Okay.
that's
That's
spot on.
Okay. All right. I will relay that to Nettie.
And it might not matter now. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe families go to the Franklin County Pride March instead because the
Yeah.
elementary school march is in it. So it might not be as much of a thing now, but
Okay, that's really helpful to know. Thank you. So that's the first one. Any other comments about that for me to share with Nettie? Okay, another change would be to create a date for a fall town meeting each year. Considering that in the last 19 years, Shutesbury has held 16 special town meetings, it seems that making this date predictable and reliable would be helpful for voters, boards, and committees alike. So the proposal is, or the question is, if the town were to amend the town meeting date bylaw so that we held a fall town meeting on the first or second Saturday in November to focus on zoning, planning, and bylaws, would this adjustment work for the committee or board you represent? From my perspective, yes. It wouldn't make any difference again.
I agree.
Any other thoughts on this? Okay, I'll relay that to Nettie, when we get off of here, just it certainly makes sense. And apparently in a Citizen's Guide to Town Meetings, the Secretary of the Commonwealth writes that a town may divide its business meeting into 2 meetings. One business meeting at the beginning of the year, the other later, where the focus is primarily on the budget, finances, and taxes. The second business meeting is held in the fall and is still part of the annual town meeting, and the focus on zoning, planning, and bylaws. So it's certainly something that is done. Okay, I think that is everything. Jess, it's so nice to have you here. It was really wonderful to have your comments and ideas and enthusiasm. Thank you so much. And is there a motion to adjourn the meeting? Okay, is there a second?
Second.
And all those in favor? Okay, great. Let me stop the recording. The meeting ended at 4:42 p.m.